to my channel, and for those of you who are new, welcome. So today I'll be doing something very, very interesting. So today I'll be doing a segment to get a dog adopted. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you guys can be notified every time I post a new video. Alrighty guys, we're gonna show you the dog on the treadmill, and his name is Das, and we're gonna go see him. Okay, so right now we're in the patio, and here's Das, and right now he is on the treadmill, and
Who are you?
Javier.
Hello. Who are you?
Are you Das's trainer?
I am Das's trainer. Been training him for the last 3 months, give or take, helping him overcome some fears and just become a more balanced dog by giving him some challenging tasks in order to boost his confidence. I'm really bad at this kind of stuff.
No, you're great. And why does he use the treadmill?
We utilize the treadmill because he's a high energy dog, so we want to burn off some of his energy. Because he's also an insecure dog, he's kind of a challenge on walks. And so what we do is we put him on the treadmill for a little while so he can burn off some energy, and then we take him on a walk outside so that he can be a little more focused on the walk because he's a little bit more tired. If we take him straight out to a walk when he's refreshed, it could be a more challenging.
So, Javier, why do we have this board right here for the patio?
We have this board because, as you can see, Das is an excitable dog. He's very happy to see you. So he's kind of running this way with his head this way. So if we were to remove this board, he would try to come off of the treadmill, and then we'd have a potentially traumatic experience with the treadmill, and then he might not want to ever get back on it, or it would be a challenge to get him back on it. So right now we have him at a decent speed because he's excited, so I want him to really focus on the walk. If we were to slow him down, he could come off. But there are times where you do want to slow him down because you want him to, again, really focus on what he's doing.
Okay, so let's talk about his backstory. So where did you find him?
Das comes to us from a rescue in Thousand Oaks. They're called Apollo's Ark. And he had been adopted out, and then he had an incident where he bit someone because of his overexcitement. Turns into biting. And so they reached out to us to have him stay with us, and so we could train him while he lives with us. So he can learn how to be a dog in a home.
What about before that? What do we know about Das's background?
Before that, he was, from what we understand, hold on, I gotta slow him down. This is coming off the back. So when you have your dog on the treadmill, it's important that you're supervising him, or supervising them, because once he starts to get tired, he starts to slow down, and you don't want him to fall off the back, because again, it'll be scary for him, and we want the treadmill to always be a fun experience. A fun workout and safe. See, he's smiling, he's enjoying it. So we don't want it to be anything scary so that next time we go on, he's like, I don't want to because I remember last time it was scary. Anyway, his backstory, from what we were told, was he spent most of his puppy years, or puppyhood, in a crate in a backyard. So he didn't get any socialization, he didn't get any exposure to the outside world, which is why now he's a challenge on walks, because he's...
Because it was traumatic.
Well, that, and he wasn't exposed to the outside world, so everything is new and scary. So there are moments where we'll be walking and he decides he gets scared and he wants to just bolt home. And he's a very strong dog. He's probably 90 pounds, give or take. So if you're not prepared for that, because it could happen at any moment, he could be normal and suddenly someone shuts a car door and that'll set him off and he'll try to bolt the other way. And you know, if you're not prepared, it can really hurt your arm. So he just doesn't know how to be a dog.
And humans were not relevant to him.
Humans weren't relevant to him. Meaning, you know, we would take him, when we first got him, we'd put a leash on him and try to get him to stay with us. You want your dog to mentally focus on you on the walks, so you're leading the dog. And for him, he was like, no, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna look at everything and be scared. And he was kind of like a feral dog.
So now we're going to introduce the tools that he uses, because some dogs use different tools for the level of their energy. So these are the tools that Doss uses. So he uses a leash, a flat collar, a muzzle, a prong collar, and an e-collar. So, Javier, what do the muzzle, prong collar, and e-collar mean for
What's the
using?
purpose?
Yeah.
So for the muzzle, again, I had mentioned Doss is a high energy, he gets excited, especially when he meets people. And that can sometimes turn into nibbling and then maybe sometimes turn into a bite. So in order to keep him and everyone else safe, sometimes we'll put the muzzle on him, just so that if we were to have an incident where he got excited because he wanted to meet someone and he jumped at them, there's no risk of his teeth hitting them or him actually nibbling or biting, because he has had a history of doing that. So we always want to play it safe with our dogs. If we know our dogs are capable or have done something like that, then we want to get ahead of that behavior.
Okay, so what is the prong collar used for?
So the prong collar is a communication device, basically. When we walk our dogs, when we put a leash on our dogs, or so you see Doss has a slip lead on right now. So the slip lead is like a step down from prong collar. Essentially, you give a certain amount of pressure with that, it's communicating to them something. So you put the prong collar on him, you put the prong collar on your dog, and you can start introducing them to pressure, leash pressure. So you pull to the side a bit, give them a little bit of pressure, that's going to tell them, hey, I need you to come over here closer. If you pull the leash pressure straight up, it's telling them, hey, I need you to stay still, sit, they sit. It's important that when your dog does the thing that you want them to do when you're giving them pressure, you release the pressure. So if I wanted Doss to sit and I gave him pressure straight up, and he sat, but I still held the pressure, well, now I'm going to confuse him as to what that pressure means. So it's a communication device as well as a way to correct. So again, when we're correcting, we're still communicating to our dogs. Some dogs require a higher level of correction in order for them to understand you or to hear you. So for a dog like Doss, when we're outside and he's very excited about stuff, a slip lead isn't going to offer enough of a communication to him. Because his energy is going to be so high. So I always tell people you have to match the dog's intensity for them to understand you. So if his intensity is really high, he's going to need a prong collar where you can give him a quick correction to say, hey, I need you to keep your focus on me and not that other dog across the street that you want to bark at or want to lunge at or want to say hi to. And then the e-collar is the same. It's a communication device. Another step up from the prong collar. So what I always tell people is the e-collar is kind of like your cordless leash, right? If you want to train your dog how to walk off leash, it's going to be with an e-collar. So it's the same thing. You tap a button, it gives them a little bit of pressure, and they go, oh, I know what that means. It means you want me to come back, or you want me to sit, or whatever it is you're telling the dog to do when you're hitting that button. So all of these things require some introduction and training. You can't just toss an e-collar on the dog and expect them to know that when I hit this button, it means I need you to come back to me, right? There's got to be recall training, so you put the e-collar on them with a leash, give pressure with both, and then they start to understand. So. And then we have also with all the tools are on this thing here is the place board. So this is a tool we use to teach Goss how to just relax, and when we tell him to go on place, he stays there until we tell him to come off of place. And this helps him with his impulse control. So once we've trained the dog to understand that when we tell them to stay there, they have to stay there until we say so, well, the cat can run by, or the house could be on fire, and he's not to get up until we say break, which is the word we use to tell him that he's done with the exercise. That's another important tool and exercise that we do with him to just keep his mind active. You keep the dogs, a high energy, anxious dog, you keep them mentally stimulated, you're going to see lower levels of energy. So you saw earlier he was running, and now he's focused on all this stuff that's going on, as well as focused on having to stay on this treadmill. He's a much calmer dog.
Okay.
So now we're going to take Doss off of the treadmill, and being that the outside here in the backyard we like to play, and so it's an exciting thing for him, it's a source of excitement. Typically he wants to come running off of the treadmill, so what we do is we make him wait and stay calm before he comes off of the treadmill. And now he's also done some work being on the treadmill, so he's earned some water, he's earned a water break. So we were talking about pressure earlier, so we can give him a little bit of pressure. Now he sits, release the pressure. So he knows, okay, I gotta be calm coming off of this treadmill. With a dog like this, you always have to do everything calm. If I were to get super excited, it'll jump up his energy really quick, and then he becomes a very unmanageable dog. So now he's earned this water that's behind me, and I'm gonna allow him to drink it, but I'm also gonna allow calmly. So most people will when they give them the dog a break or whatever, they'll say, break, they'll shoot their voice out. So I'm just gonna say, Doss. It's a nice focused on page. Doss, break. Not super interested in the water because there's a distraction here. But you keep it calm, he stays calm. You see he's pretty relaxed. Come on, bud, you want some water? No? Alright, so now we're going to work on some place work. Doss, place. Sit. No, sit. And we're going to throw the muzzle on him. It's important that you condition your pets to a muzzle. You can't just put a muzzle on a dog and expect him to like it. We did a lot of work with Doss in feeding him through the muzzle for several weeks at a time. Just making the muzzle something that is just normal now. It's commonplace. It's just like putting a flat collar on the dog. It's not a big deal because he's used to it. But if he's not used to it, you're going to see a dog that's trying to pull it off. He's starting to get anxious. He's starting to get upset about it, because you're just throwing something on that he's not used to. Same goes for almost everything you put on your dog. So if you want your dog to wear booties, you have to get him used to it. Give him treats, make it a very fun thing, something that they're gonna want to do. Doss, down. Yes. So you see the difference in when you pet him calmly and you're behaving calmly. If we were to have someone with the energy like your little sister, where it's hard for her to do anything calmly, he would be at that level that she was at. He's an energy sponge. So that's why it's important that with a dog like this, you keep your energy neutral, low energy, and you can pet him all day. It's a good boy.
Sweet boy.
You see that eye contact he's giving?
So there's a car and we're gonna see a dog. So we're gonna see how he's gonna react. There's Doss. As you can see, ears up, tail up,
Now is his prong collar on.
prong collar and a muzzle.
This is called loading. Loading. Nope.
See
No.
how Javier pops with the e-collar. It just gets a
Prong collar. Nope.
prong collar.
Nope.
It just gets his attention.
So you will notice though that he still goes back to the loading and the fixation, because right now I'm not able to get an effective pop because I have to loop this together until I have something coming to take that place, but I'm not able to get a really good communication with him. So he's still loading, but old Doss would have been losing his mind already, jumping, barking, and making all kinds of sounds.
But
So
this is the new Doss.
he's improved a great deal just by adding this communication.
Just the hackles are up in his tail and his ears.
No, I mean this is normally what he looks like,
Yeah.
but his level, the thing to look at is his eyes. When he checks out, his eyes get crazy. So right now he's still, I can get his attention. He's still there. So that's what you want from your dog. Understand that they're still with you.
So should we go this way?
Sure.
Because Clyde's over here and that's the biggest challenge. So Clyde, he lives actually outside. And he's actually on a leash outside, which is very, very sad. But he's a white, cute dog, and he's huge. As you can hear him barking, he will jump on the fence. So he is right there. See how he jumps on the fence? That's a reactive. And Doss is just minding his own business. And see other dogs are barking, he's just sniffing around. Sniffing around for him is a really, really big achievement. He never usually used to sniff around. We gotta go get Ian. You are... Okay, so we didn't bring any bags, so we have to go get my friend and his pants. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a nervous poop.
Yeah, it is. We'll come
So,
pick it up.
See, this is my life page. I'll say Nikki, and she's like, no, we're not gonna need that. And then sure enough, there it is. You're gonna come back and get it?
Yeah, I'll come back.
But what about in the meantime, someone steps in it? It's right by a cliff. Stinky? Yeah, why are you making her pick it up?
She asked.
Oh.
So are we going around?
Let's go down and come back.
Heel. Heel.
Yes.
Hi.
So, are you card?
Mm-hmm.
So this is their other dog, Cody. This is a dog that can be for a home that has pets, very children friendly. Hi, baby. And loves kids. But she's already adopted, so
Mm-hmm.
can't adopt her. But that's a very well trained dog. Javier has had her since she was like what?
3 months old.
3 months old, and that's very well trained dog that loves everything and everybody.
And she knows how to be calm, right?
Yes.
She's a very calm dog that can be
There's her ball.
excited. She likes to play.
But she can also be kind of a bad girl by her ball. So she won't let her ball go because she's obsessed with sticks, grass, and toys, as you can see.
But she doesn't bite, she doesn't jump. She's a very good girl.
And also go to Das's Instagram, which is Adoptable Das, and go heart all of his pictures, and then maybe leave a comment if you have the right home, and then you and Nikki can get in touch, and we'll see. And
What's
then,
Das's perfect home?
No children unless the children have very calm energy and that don't get excited that much. And no, like, pets. Because he might eat the pets or attack the dogs or whatever. So he doesn't need no pets. He needs a very, very quiet house that don't really have that much people over for him to get so excited. And he needs his own quiet room to just calm down and have his own place to sleep so he's not all riled up. And yeah. So that was for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you can be notified every time I post a new video. If you want more of Das, keep watching my channel, and bye guys!